Imagine walking down the street and seeing someone approaching. Without even thinking, your brain makes a judgment about them. Are they friendly, dangerous, trustworthy? This happens in a fraction of a second. But here's the thing. What if those snap judgments aren't based on facts, but on hidden biases we don't even realize we have? Today, in just 5 minutes or less, I'm going to explain the psychology of bias and why it matters more than we think. I'm Dr. Williams, a social psychologist, and today I'm here to teach you about bias. So, what exactly is bias? Bias is simply a tendency to favor or disfavor something, someone, or a group. It can be explicit, meaning we're aware of it, or implicit, meaning it operates unconsciously. Implicit biases are especially tricky because they influence our decisions without us realizing it. Think of it like an automatic shortcut in your brain. Helpful for quick decisions, yes, but sometimes those shortcuts are based on stereotypes rather than reality. So how does bias work? Our brains love categories. According to social identity theory, we naturally sort people into in groups, or rather people who are like us, and out groups, people different from us. This categorization helps us make sense of the world, but also leads to in-group favoritism and out-group bias. For example, studies show that people often unconsciously associate positive traits with their in-group and negative traits with the out-group, even if they believe they're not prejudiced. In the implicit association test, people often pair good words faster with faces of their own race compared to others. Surprising, right? Even people committed to equality show bias. So if this is the case, then why does it matter? See, bias isn't just about personal feelings. It shapes real-world outcomes. In hiring, for example, studies have shown that identical resumes receive more callbacks if they have white-sounding names compared to black-sounding names. In criminal justice, implicit bias can affect policing, sentencing, and even jury decisions. Officers may unconsciously perceive black individuals as more threatening, even when unarmed. This isn't about bad apples. It's about how bias is embedded in systems, often invisibly. But if this is the case, then what can we do about it? Well, so what's the solution? First is awareness. You can't change what you don't see. Tools like the implicit association test can help uncover hidden biases. Second, challenge your assumptions. Ask yourself, why did I make that judgment? Is it based on facts or stereotypes? Finally, create systems that reduce bias, like blind hiring practices or bias training in organizations. Bias isn't a personal flaw. It's a human tendency. But by understanding it and how it works, we can start to interrupt it, because awareness is the first step towards change. So, when was the time you realized you had an unconscious bias? And how did it affect your perspective?